Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a used car listing, seen low kilometers, decent price, good condition in the photos, and just felt like something was off? Like the deal almost seemed too clean.
Yeah, and the frustrating thing is you can never quite explain it. The listing is fine, the seller sounds reasonable, and something in the back of your head is saying, slow down.
Right. Now imagine the car is sitting in a coastal city. Mumbai, Chennai, Goa, Kochi, Vizag, etc. The seller is friendly, the car starts fine, AC works and no weird sounds come out of it. Everything checks out on the surface.
And most people at the point just go for it. Because what else are you going to do? You're driven out to see it, it seems okay, you don't want to walk away feeling like you have overanalyzed a perfectly good deal.
And then 6 months later, your mechanic is looking at the underside of this car and saying, yaar, ye kya scene hai?
Which is the worst possible way to find out you have made a mistake. Because by then the money is gone, the paperwork is done, and the car is yours.
Rust, corrosion, electrical issues, the kind of damage that doesn't announce itself when you're buying. It shows up slowly, quietly, and expensively. And today we're exactly going to talk about this. Whether you're living in a coastal city and are buying locally, or you're somewhere in inland looking at a coastal car, this episode is going to save you a lot of money.
Let's get into it. Okay, so what actually makes a coastal car different? Because on the surface, it seems like a car is a car. Same engine, same parts, same everything.
That's exactly what most people think, and that assumption is what gets them. The difference isn't in the car, it's the environment the car has been living in. Here's one word: salt. The air near the ocean carries sodium chloride and it settles on everything. Metal, rubber, wiring, all of it.
And I think most people have a vague sense of it but don't realize how aggressive it is. Like we know the coastal areas are humid and things rust faster. But the actual scale of damage is something else.
Exactly. Manufacturers design cars for average conditions. Coastal salt air is not average. A car in a dry inland city might show surface rust after 8 or 10 years. But that same car parked near the sea, serious structural corrosion in just 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years is nothing. That's still basically a new car by people's standards. And if you're buying a 5-year-old coastal car, that damage is already well underway. And you will have no idea just by looking at it normally.
And the worst part is damage is hidden in places most buyers never check. The paint looks fine, the interior is clean, the engine starts fine, but under the car, along the chassis, the brake lines, the fuel lines, that's where the salt does its worst work.
The parts that corrode fastest are the ones you cannot see in a standard walkthrough of a car. You would have to actually get under it, which almost nobody does when they are buying privately.
Almost nobody. And then there's the electrical side. Coastal humidity gets into the wiring connectors, sensors and contact points. These fail gradually, not all at once. 1 month the AC acts up, 2 months later the window gets low, and then a warning light. Each one feels like a separate small issue.
But it's not separate at all. It's the same underlying problem showing up in different places. And once you are in that cycle of small repairs, it doesn't really stop. Let's go into the specifics because I think the conditions are actually quite different city to city. What works as a warning sign in Chennai might not be the same thing you are watching for in Mumbai.
Completely right. Each city has its own damage profile. Let's go one by one.
Mumbai first.
Mumbai cars carry a double burden. Salt air from the coast on one side and some of the worst stop and start traffic in the country. So you're getting undercarriage corrosion plus accelerated mechanical wear at the same time. The chassis and the underbody takes salt damage, especially if the car was parked near the seafront.
And what makes Mumbai particularly tricky is that the parking situation varies so much building to building. Two identical cars from the same year could be in completely different conditions, depending on whether it was on a covered basement or on the street.
Which is why asking the seller directly where the car was parked is not a weird question. It's a completely reasonable one and the answer tells you a lot.
Chennai next. And I feel like Chennai is underestimated as a tough environment for cars.
Actually, it's quite underestimated. The heat and humidity combination in Chennai is unique and extreme. 40-degree temperatures plus 80 to 90% humidity year-round. That combination destroys rubber. Door seals, hoses, gaskets, all of it become brittle faster than you'll expect.
And the consequences aren't just cosmetic. A door seal that's gone means water ingress during rain. A brittle coolant hose can fail on you while you're driving. These aren't annoyances, they are actual problems.
For Chennai specifically, the AC compressor and the entire cooling system deserve extra attention. Because if the AC gives out in Chennai, you're not slightly uncomfortable. You genuinely cannot function in that car during summer.
Goa is probably the most interesting case because it's the one where buyers get the most optimistic. Low mileage, beautiful setting, feels like a good deal.
And that's exactly the trap. Cars in Goa don't do high kilometers. The state is small, distances are short. So you can easily find a 4 to 5-year-old car with 30 to 40,000 kilometers on the odo and it might look like a steal. But those kilometers don't tell you where the car was sitting for all those years.
Because a car parked in an open compound near a beach for 4 years, even if it barely moved, has bathed in salty air every single day. The engine didn't work hard, but the body and the undercarriage absolutely took a beating.
Right, and the odometer only records movement. It tells you nothing about what the environment was doing to the car while it sat still.
That's the one thing I think most people never consider, and it should completely change how you evaluate mileage on a coastal car. Let's make this actionable. Someone is standing in front of a coastal used car and they want to do this properly. Walk me through what they should do actually.
5 things, and I want to be clear that these aren't optional. If a seller won't give you time or access to do these checks, that itself is information.
Number 1, let's start from under the car.
Not a glance, actually crouch down with a torch and look at the chassis, the undercarriage and the floor pans. Flaky orange rust on surface areas is a warning. Soft spots, holes and deeply pitted metal on structural components is a deal breaker. You never negotiate on that, you simply leave.
And I know that this feels awkward to do in front of a seller, but honestly, if the car is clean underneath, they won't mind it at all.
Exactly. Number 2, brake lines and fuel lines. These are thin metal tubes running the length of the undercarriage. They are critical for safety and they corrode in coastal conditions. If they look pitted or show visible surface corrosion, factor in the cost of replacement. This is not a small job.
Number 3, battery terminals.
Look for white or bluish powdery buildup, which is a sign of corrosion. Then manually test everything on the car. Every window, every door lock, every switch. Anything that's slow, sticky or inconsistent is a red flag. People usually dismiss these as minor electrical snags, but in a coastal car there's symptoms of a pattern.
4, and I think this one is underused because people assume the seller will just show them a doctored history.
A careful coastal car owner will actually have more entries in the service book, not fewer. If the service history is thin or missing, the car has had a rough life and someone is counting on you not asking about it.
Number 5, test drive in traffic.
Test drive in traffic, not just on an open road. Coastal cars have lived in specific conditions and you want to replicate those. Stop-start driving reveals clutch wear, brake feel and how the AC performs under actual load. A smooth drive on a clear road can mask a lot. Make the car work a little.
So here's the question everyone actually wants answered. Is a coastal used car worth buying, or it's just a category of car you should stay away from?
It's absolutely worth buying if you approach it correctly. There's nothing inherently wrong with a coastal car. Most people in coastal areas usually maintain their cars pretty well and they are in great shape. The issue is treating it like any other used car and skipping the checks that specifically matter here.
So the bar for buying is higher, not the answer being no.
Exactly. Your inspection lens becomes a little more unique for this kind of car, and your pricing expectation should reflect the environment the car has lived in. A coastal car that's equivalent in a year and mileage to an inland one should be priced lower because the wear profile is genuinely different.
And for someone who actually lives in a coastal city and is buying locally, does the calculus change?
Actually, no, it's more straightforward in some ways. You understand the environment, your mechanic understands the environment, registration and insurance are pretty simple, but the inspection doesn't become less important just because you're used to coastal cars. All the checks we mentioned matters just as much.
And buying from a certified platform versus a private seller?
With a certified platform, the inspection has been done independently before the car is listed. You have proper documentation of the condition rather than someone's word for it. And Cars24 provides 300 plus checks and complete documentation.
So what I am taking from this is that a coastal car is not a category to avoid, it's a category that requires you to actually do the work, ask the right questions and price the conditions accurately. So Rohan, what if after watching this video I still don't know how to price it accurately or inspect?
That's where Cars24 PDI comes in. Whether you're living in the inland or in the coastal city, we have professionals and checks that can determine your car's condition accurately. The good news is this service is available in most cities for a very reasonable price. So you don't need to be a professional and crouch down and look at the underside of that car.
If this was useful, like, subscribe and send it to anyone who is about to buy a coastal car without doing any of this.
They'll either thank you or ignore and learn the hard way. Thanks for watching.